Peace and balance and Greatrising. Um, so, funny story is, um, my daughter, when I put her on her bus or drop her off at school, or when she leaves to go to school, either way, I usually ask her, what kind of day are you going to have? And she did this thing about, she said something about a month or 2 months ago, and she said, I'm going to have an intentional day. Now, I teach my girls about setting intentions on a daily basis, and it took me back because usually she says, I'm gonna have a good day, and then I usually say, make good choices. And she looks at me and she said, yes, make good choices. But she switched it up on me, and she said, I'm gonna have an intentional day. And so I decided to sit with that, and now I ask her, well, what kind of intentions are you setting for the day? And she always has something. She used to say the same things, but with one thing she switch up. And she's 8 years old, and it's interesting to me. Sorry, y'all, it's a little chilly out here. But it is interesting to me that that an 8 year old understands life on a greater scale than we do without even knowing it. Today, she said that she's setting the intentions to be happy, to be fearless, and to be great. And I said, after I put on the bus, I sat in that for a moment. And I was dwelling in the fearless part. And it was really eye-opening that, we all have these moments where we think we've gotten past something, or we may have healed in that moment, healed to an understanding, but then it circles back around and we're back in the place where we thought we'd heal from. See, that doesn't mean that you are not healed. The moment that you circle back around to something that you've dealt with in the past, and you're experiencing those emotions again, and you're like, well, I thought I've healed fear. I thought I've conquered fear. I thought I've, dealt with this emotion. Well, first of all, you have in that moment. But understanding that it's going to circle back around, and it's always going to, emotions are going to recycle. It's how you deal with it and how you understand it that it makes all the difference. About a year ago around this time, give or take a few months, I was wrestling with fear. And I learned that I was focusing on my fears more than I was focusing on my desire. I learned that although it's okay for me to experience these emotions, y'all look at this moon behind me. You can't hardly see it, but that moon is shining bright as the sun. Isn't it amazing? But y'all gonna have to excuse me with this nose running tidbit, okay? I got allergies times 20. Anyway, how I handled the fear part at that moment, it was a little bit different than how I handle it now. And just the fact that when she mentioned fearless, it rung a bell in my ear, and it brought me back to me. What am I fearing in this season? What am I focusing on in this season? It has to be fear. It has to be worry. It has to be doubt. It has to be all those emotions, because as soon as she said fearless, my ear rang, and I'm like, damn, And so I decided that I'm going to place focus on fear in this season, not to harp on it, but to understand it a little better, and what's drawing that fear inside of me, what's drawing it out. Not only what is going on in my life, but what's drawing it out. And how do I conquer those emotions, but with the understanding that they're going to come back, because we are human. We experience this life on a human level. But how am I going to deal with it with the understanding and with the knowledge of when I went through this before, how did I feel and how did I conquer it? What's changed? Ask yourself these questions when you're battling with something for the second time, because what we tend to do is we tend to get hard on ourselves and beat ourselves up like, here we go again, I'm back at it again. And what we don't understand, and what you don't understand, what I don't understand, is these are human emotions. It's not about feeling them, it's about how we deal with them. And as long as you can be honest with yourself, clear cut and to the point, you will realize that the second time around, if you are really in touch with yourself on a higher level, that it's not about, oh, I'm experiencing these emotions again. It's really truly about, how am I going to deal with it? How am I going to be honest up front, deal with it, and not let it overtake me? See, the last time I let my fear overtake me about something that was going on in my situation, not alone, we have this Mercury retrograde that's happening, and this full moon is sitting real high in the sky, that, on some level can be affecting our mood. All that plays a part in it. But at the end of it all, none of that can affect you unless you have a strong mind, unless you're honest with yourself, unless you understand that it's okay to feel. There's a lot of people that's going to feel doubt in this season during this retrograde. There's going to be people that experience sadness. There's going to be people that experience high vibrational emotions, but understand that these feelings but it's how I handle them. In this season, I plan on handling my fears square on. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding from my fears anymore, because that's what I tend to do. I tend to run. I tend to hide from it and sweep it under the rug, because it's easier for me to do that than it is for me to deal with fear. I used to feel like, if it don't exist in my mind, then I can't feel the emotion, and that's false. That's false. So I say that to say this. While you're in this season, while you're experiencing whatever emotion that you're experiencing, be aware of the signs. Like when my daughter said, fearless. She said fearless, but I heard feared. That's being aware of yourself. Sorry, y'all, got to get my cold ass in the house, baby. But yes, be aware of your emotions and be okay with feeling them. Don't beat yourself up or be hard on yourself for experiencing something that you've already experienced before, because our emotions are like the seasons. They're going to come over and over and over and over and over. You become a stronger man and woman by handling it differently, logically, with your heart, balancing those two, those masculine and feminine energies. Understand duality, understanding rhythm, understanding that everything flows in and out, That's the best way that you can handle it. But anyway, I'm going to take my cold ass in the house. I hope you guys have a amazing day. I thought I brought something to clean my nose with, but I guess I did not. But you guys remember that self-preservation is the first law of nature. Love yourself before you love anything and anybody else. And also lead with your heart, and everything else will follow. Peace out.